and welcome to our Stitching Chronicles, the craft podcast where every stitch tells a story. We're your hosts. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Sarah. Grab your yarn, find a comfy spot and knit along with us as we share all about our projects and different stories of our yarning adventures.
And hopefully a few laughs along the way. Let's cast on Chapter 2 of our Stitching Chronicles.
Thank you so much for coming back and joining us for Chapter 2. We really hope you enjoyed Chapter 1. We have had a fantastic day so far.
Very busy, full day.
Yes,
Yep.
Really looking forward to sharing with you what we have purchased,
Planned for.
organised, done whatever. But before we do that, there were a few things that we wanted to chat with you about. We are in a very different location, so hopefully this works out okay with background noise. There is a car wash happening over there, but
There has been some whippersnippering happening.
Yes, but it is a beautiful day, a beautiful park. We have just been to Fibre Feast, so because we live far apart, this is a nice central location, and hopefully it's not too noisy for you.
Yep, sounds good.
So Kendall, you raised something that we realised that we forgot to tell you guys. Something that feedback we got was that you really loved just like how well we flowed together. Thank you so much. Fun fact about us.
Fun fact. The last time we recorded was the third time we've met.
Ever. Yeah.
So we had mentioned the Sailor Swift top and how that had prompted us to meet and start learning how to do I-cord together. So that was our first meeting. We only had like a second meeting in between there where we got together to plan the podcast. And then recording Chapter 1 last time was the third time we'd met. So our friendship really has formed out of knitting.
Yes.
And we did just meet each other on Instagram. And so that was the third time that we'd met and had a chat. So it was very encouraging to hear that people were like, oh, you guys just got along really well, you bounced off each other really well, because it was the third time we met. This is now the fourth.
Yeah. We do live, I mean, Adelaide is a very small city, but we do live on opposite ends of the city. So if you're from like Sydney or Melbourne and we say we're like 45 minutes away from each other, that might not sound like a lot, but when you live in Adelaide, that's like literally the other side. So we don't get to catch up as often as we would like, but
these two have been close together, which is good, but we don't know what it will look like moving forward with knitting being like a long form project as well as being distances away, working full-time, studying full-time. Takes us a little while to finish a project, so we may be working on the same things and that might be boring, so we'll just see how we're going. Having said it takes a long time to finish a project. Having said that, what are you wearing?
During the last week, so I've been working, I mentioned in my last podcast, I'm going to be focusing solely on the Devon sweater that I'm making for my husband. Let me get that out and show you the progress that I have made on that. I think I'm jumping ahead here, but that's okay.
It's fine.
So I've been working on the Devon sweater for my husband. I was a little worried that the darker colour wouldn't show up the cables. I'd actually never knit cables before the Salty Days sweater. And I bought this yarn around the same time, and I didn't realise that cables don't show up as much on dark, but thankfully it's actually pretty good.
I think because it has the coloured flecks coming through, it does bring it out a bit.
Yeah, and it's very 3D. The texture's very 3D. Anyway, I said in the last podcast that I'm going to be focusing solely on this because I wanted to get it done, and then I realised I really just want something stockinette. And so I cast on Sundazed sweater by Kutovakika. It was on my Make 9. I talked about it in the last episode, in the last chapter.
How many have you ticked off your Make 9?
Just 2.
Okay, 2. I thought it was 3. I was like, whoa.
No,
okay,
just 2. I thought it was 3 too. This will be the third.
Okay.
I have thoughts and feelings and opinions on this top. I love the colour. I love the yarn. Like the Pima cotton is just so soft and beautiful. I knit this in 7 days.
It's very impressive.
So the body part here was supposed to be 27 centimetres. I did 28. I knit 10 of those centimetres in 1 day. Like, I could not believe it.
What ply are we talking here, and what
So this
needle
is
size?
8 ply. I didn't do a gauge. I just went, I'm just going to
the whole thing's a gauge.
dive in and do this thing. And as I was doing it, I was like, oh, I don't I might just I'd knit a few rows and I just did a loose gauge and I was off. So I did actually undo it and redo it, and I upped a needle. I was supposed to go up by 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
On both the, half a millimeter on both the ribbing and the body. I accidentally grabbed my 3.25 millimeters instead of my 3.5, so that only went up a little bit. And then this, I did 4.5 instead of 4.
Yep.
And then I was like, let's just wing it, see how it goes. If it works out, if it works out. If it doesn't, if it doesn't. And it has worked out. The only thing, I tried it on before I'd done the collar and I was like, I really don't like it.
The collar worked wonders of pulling it all together, and you've done the collar really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did it a little shorter than she asked, just because I was too lazy to keep going. I just wanted it done.
Is it double folded?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a double folded collar, and she gets you to cast it off and then sew it on, whereas I sew it as I cast off.
Yep.
Just find that a lot easier. But I don't love this. It comes in really far, and I don't like the way it looks. It makes me look almost top heavy. So I want your opinion. Should I put a ribbing along here? She's got another similar top, and she has a ribbing.
Crochet or knit?
Knit.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it'd be similar to like this.
Okay.
But I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, 2 centimeters.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think I should? Do you think it'll ruin it? Do you think I should leave it? I feel
What's the back?
Okay. I don't mind the back.
Yeah.
The back's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just the front.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it cuts in here, I just think that it doesn't flatter my torso. Yeah. My top part.
Great colour.
Fantastic colour.
Yeah.
See how well we match.
That's what we do.
But yeah, I'm just a little worried I'm not going to wear it.
Yeah.
Because I almost didn't want to wear it today, but I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, I don't want to have something as beautiful as this with such beautiful yarn that I don't wear.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? What do you think I should do? I thought about I-cord, but then I thought that's probably going to pull it in more, not pull it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the Sailor Swift was like before the I-cord and after the I-cord. And I think...
I remember I hated the armholes on that before the I-cord.
Yes, and the I-cord did a lot and helped. But I do think you might... I don't know. Do you need it to be tighter? Because then the I-cord might help.
Doesn't need to be tighter per se. It needs to be wider.
Yeah, so then I think you are looking at the ribbing situation.
So anyway, so this was
7 days.
7 days, finished project.
Yep. And how many finished objects do I have in 2 weeks?
That's, you have been working hard, Kendall, working hard. What have you been working on?
I have been working on the Haskins sweater for my husband. So I remembered to bring it along this time. So it's knit flat in 4 separate pieces and then seamed together. So this is the back. And it's in the smoky blue colour by Bendigo Woolen Mills. And then last time I was knitting 2 sleeves at a time. But who am I? These are off the needles and blocked. Yay. I haven't weaved in the ends, but they are blocked, ready to go.
I love that you've blocked it.
Well, it's because as soon as the front is done, which I've made progress on, as soon as the front is done, I want to be able to put it all together and do the collar.
Yeah.
And so my blocking mats aren't big enough to do all of that.
Yeah, that's
excuse my stitch marker situation. I put stitch markers for every pattern repeat, so we've just got a couple on there.
I did the same for the field sweater.
Yeah. So this didn't exist 2 weeks ago. The front of it didn't anyway. Yay. So I've been working on the front for the last 2 weeks, probably 10 days actually, because I had to finish off the sleeves. But yes, so that's the progress on that one. It comes everywhere with me at the moment. It's tempting to grab it and just sit here and knit, but the stitch makers would make too much noise. But it comes to lunch breaks, car travel, anywhere, hanging out at a friend's house, lunch dates. It's coming everywhere with the moment because I just really want to be done and I want to cast some more things on. Yes. And I'm on a very tight time frame for that. So we're currently the start of March and I have to finish it by March 25th, which is a couple of weeks away now, but that front I'll finish off this week, assemble it all, do the collar, weave the ends in. I think it's very achievable for the next week or two, ready for the 25th. So
I think that's
we're
achievable.
working hard, we're getting it done, and then I'm going to cast on so many things.
Because you've done that in less than 2 weeks, haven't you?
Yeah, so I did time how long the back one took me, and that took 3 weeks. So I was expecting the front to take 3 weeks, but we're almost done at 10 days.
Yeah.
So
consider, though, we were talking about this over lunch, when you were working on the back,
the back.
You were also working on two other things.
I was also working on 2 other things.
Yeah,
So I was finishing off
be kind.
the love letter top.
Yeah.
And the ballad collar that I made for a friend.
Yes.
So I have finished objects this year. It's just that I started them last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, does that lead to your correction?
Viewers, I have an apology to make. In the last video, I showed you my favourite thing from 2024, and I realised that I don't actually count either of those things, the field sweater or the Salty Days sweater, as 2024 finished objects, because I finished them in January of 2025.
Isn't January just an extension of 2024?
It feels a little like it, especially because, you know, when I was a teacher, I didn't start school till the end of January. Now that I'm a full-time uni student, I'm still on holidays. I go back to uni tomorrow. But, you know, technically, so I just thought I wanted to make that correction. My favourite project of 2024 would have to be the Sailor Swift top that I made, which I did show you in the previous video, but I will put a little photo of it up here for you guys to see as well. And probably a runner-up, I didn't bring it and I should have brought it, I thought about bringing it, would be the Funky Turtle sweater. It was actually the first garment that I made, which was pretty ambitious looking back, because it had like colour work kind of, it had like texture of like slip stitch yarn overs that created a pattern. It was a lot, but it turned out really well, and I made it in the KPC Knit Pearl Crochet KPC cotton merino yarn. So beautiful. They actually shared my reel of me sitting by the fire knitting it. That was really awesome. So I'll put a photo of that in as well for you to see. That would be my runner-up.
Yes. All right. So
back on track.
I'm working on Haskins, you're working on Devon sweater.
I'm not just working on my Devon sweater. So I have been working on this, but I've also got, and you'll see a lot of footage on like Instagram if you follow my Instagram page of me working on this. So you don't really see me talking about this much on here. Well, I haven't talked about it yet, so I thought I'd better talk about it. I'm crocheting my dad a top. It's a very retro kind of 70s.
And it's going top down.
It's going top down like this.
Vertical stripes.
So this is the back panel. Oh no. And it's made in flat back panel, 2 front panels, and then 2 sleeves that'll come down to about his elbows, and then I'll put it all together and crochet a collar and a collar button band. And
you could knit them.
I could actually.
Yeah. I've seen people do that with granny square cardigans, where they make the granny square cardigan and then they finish off with like the knitted button band, and it just looks so much better than a crochet one might. So that's an option.
That is a really good option. I like that option.
And it might use
I don't like crocheting slip stitch
through back loop only.
Through back loop only collars, ribs. So that's a really good idea. I like that. So anyway, this is simply called button down crochet top, I think. It's called the crochet button up shirt. Very simple, by Ivy Made. I found it on Ravelry. It's made to measure. It doesn't give you specific but it does give you row suggestions if you meet her gauge. But if you don't meet her gauge, the row suggestions, you kind of have to do your own maths.
And what yarn are you using?
I am using Drops Bell, which is cotton, linen and viscose. So let's see, 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. Got this from my favourite wool warehouse in the UK. They're very good with their drops, and their delivery is super quick. So also because I needed like 16 balls of yarn for this, because it's crochet. So that is the other thing that I'm working on that you'll see me, and so many ends to weave in.
So many ends. Because we don't do them as we go, do we?
No. Oh, sometimes this I did.
Oh yeah.
And my salty days I did.
Well, look, when we eat
This I don't.
we finish it quickly.
Yeah.
Should learn
Excellent.
something from that.
We should. You would think we would, but we do not.
We do not.
So that's, I think, all I've got that I'm working on.
Yeah. Yep. Other things before we get to our Fibre Feast adventures this morning. After our last chapter 1 episode, where I pulled out the yarn, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a rainbow paddle pop. This Instagram competition was running for Great Southern Yarn, and they wanted like a 90s nostalgic name for their yarn, and so I was like, is this not really similar to the colourway we looked at last time? This one just has some more purple through it. And so I suggested Rainbow Paddle Pop, and then they picked it, and so the name I picked for the yarn is on the yarn, and I won one. So my yarn acquisition, which cost me nothing.
What are you going to make with that?
I don't know. I could use it for a muscle burra. I could use it for some socks because it is 4-ply, but it's spun in New Zealand and dyed in Australia. So that's really exciting.
That is so exciting.
Yep.
I do like the colour. It's very
8%
cool.
merino, 20% nylon.
And it's a very you colour.
Yeah.
Kendall likes really bright.
Yep.
Well, I wouldn't even say bright, like beautiful pastel-y, but in the bright kind of variety.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
we'll
pinks
get to more
and
of that
purples
later.
and things, whereas I'm very boring.
So yeah, maybe a beanie,
Neutral.
maybe a hat. It is only 378 metres. So
Okay. You could probably make a simple beanie. Maybe not a
Yeah.
muscle burra, because I think that's double folded.
yeah.
So you might need more.
Yeah, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Something.
Awesome. Kendall, I do have a question.
Yes.
What's this over here sitting in front of us?
So last time I spoke about my book club cardigan, and I just remembered I had this. This was my swatch for what the green will work up like in the book club cardigan, and that's not being held with anything. That's just the Bendigo Woolen Mills cactus twist yarn, or cactus bamboo twist, and so
Is that the stitch that's used?
this is
in
one of the stitches that's used. This is
Okay.
the moss stitch, I think.
Yeah, looks like it.
But yes, so this is my option that we're currently thinking of working with for the book club cardigan. I don't know. I'm still not sold. What are
I
your
feel
thoughts?
like, because you're saying the book cup card, I can speak words. The book cup. It's not a book cup. The book club. You're saying that the book club cardigan is your like ultimate librarian sweater.
It is.
And I feel like green, oversized, warm
Yeah.
heart. I feel like I can see it.
Okay.
I can see you in the library.
Yep.
In your little librarian book club cardigan
Yep.
sweater in that colour. It's beautiful.
So we'll just do it. So I brought that with me just because I spoke about it last time, but didn't have it.
Excellent.
All right, should we move on to our Fibre Feast adventures from this morning?
I have been hanging out for this
You've been
day.
saving. So firstly, we do need to say that like we are both very wise with our money, but we have been saving for this event. So it is also a hobby. We spend money on our hobby. There we go.
Yes. I have been saving pretty much all year. I don't normally go this nuts with my yarn. I do try and find more affordable things that are still good quality. So I really love natural fibres, which means I do have to, you know, be responsible in how much I'm spending, because today I was not.
Well, but we did go in with a plan. And we did find answers to the plan. So
Yes. So do you want to go first, or?
Sure, I'll go first. First thing is last time for my Make 9, I showed you that I wanted to make the Poetry Pullover by Sari Nordlund. And I was like, I'm going to use this 4-ply cotton, forgetting that I needed something else for that 4-ply cotton. You're supposed to hold it with a mohair or something that's lace weight. So my first thing that I found was Maximoo yarns, in a like basically the same colour as the minty blue.
She brought a sample and it matched like perfectly.
And I've lost the sample in all of my things that I got this morning. I probably like threw it out because I was like, I don't need this anymore. So this is Maximoo yarns, a Mangrove mohair, 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, 400 meters. So look, I was about to say the recipe. The pattern does call for 900 meters and this is only 800. However, I am going with the fact that I'm not going to use the mohair in the ribbing or the collar, and so I'm just hoping for the best. I'm playing yarn chicken, and if it means that my body ends up being a little bit shorter than it would, I'm okay with a crop jumper or a crop sweater. So yes,
that's good.
I just couldn't justify buying another one for like 100 meters.
And it's a very soft mohair as well.
Yeah,
I think some mohairs can be quite
So yes, that was my first purchase. And then my second purchase was some progress markers from Yarn Trader. And they're just really like simple beaded ones with numbers on them to mark your row or stitch markers. You could also buy them in like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But I thought the single digit ones would work fine.
Because you can also use them as tens.
Yes,
like
exactly.
one could be 10.
Yeah. So just thought they were a really cute idea. So that was my second purchase, not yarn as such, but still fun. And then I showed my Make 9 last video, and I pretty much said how I had yarn for everything on there, but I didn't have anything for the framed sweater yet. So we did a lot of wandering around. We looked at some other options, and then ended up going back to Nomad.
Their yarns are so beautiful.
So beautiful. So the pattern calls for a worsted weight, but when we looked at the measurements on it, their 8-ply is probably closest to the worsted weight. So we went with the 8-ply. It means you get a little bit more. You don't need to buy as many hanks of yarn, but it's hand dyed with plants, and it's 100% wool, and it is so soft. Squish it.
Oh, so soft. And they're, aren't they like botanically dyed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So hand dyed with plants.
Oh, you just said that.
I think there's one that they don't hand dye with plants. They bring a bug in to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like their pink colours use a certain kind of bug.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember in the last video I talked about that market that I went to at Lobethal?
Yes.
What is it? Fabric Arts?
Yes. Yep.
They sell these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was actually the first time I saw them was up there, and I was so tempted by this mustard.
I know. And they only had 2 of this colour left, so I was like, well, I've got to do it. So I'm going to use the mustard for the contrast colour. I'm going to use the natural colour for the background, and then I've got a purple to also use in there for some of the different like patchwork stars. But I also have enough of this that I can use this for some of the stars as well and kind of mix and match them.
Oh.
So that's the plan for them. I could have got like a lot more colours, but I just couldn't justify buying another colour. So we're just making do with those ones, and I do really like the purple with the mustard anyway.
Yeah.
Because I bought so much yarn from Nomad, and the other thing I like about them is that they are South Australian grown and then milled in Victoria, so they're local to us.
Yeah.
But she also gave me a Sweaater stone, which is an effective and environmentally friendly way to remove pilling and balling from knits and fabrics. And so she used it on her vest just to show us.
Yeah.
And she could just scrape it against the vest and it removed all of the peeling without actually damaging the knit.
Yes.
Which was really cool. So that was very kind.
It worked really well.
It worked really well.
I watched her doing that.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
And then it was like left with the peeling on there.
Yeah.
So that was very kind, very lovely. And I'm excited to see how
yeah,
that works.
well, I'd love to see how that works
Yeah.
because I've got just one of those electric shavers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
And then I did have another purchase, which is just this one. Just a splurge, spur of the moment. Grabbed it to make a Sophie scarf because the whole world seems to be making one and I need to join in.
Yes. Aren't they just?
Is it a craze or a trend if I don't jump in? No, it's not. So yeah, so that's half-baked, hand-dyed, and she's from Victoria.
And I'm pretty sure, it's Aussie merino.
Yeah,
wool.
Penny Princess, Aussie DK yarn, superwash merino. So,
But it's a pretty chunky.
it is 185 metres to 100 grams, which, same as Nomad, almost feels more in line with something that asks for a worsted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But beautiful.
That is me done
That's you
in
done.
terms of acquisitions at Fibre Feast.
Excellent. Well, I also had myself a field day. I went in, I had a plan on my phone of everything on my Make 9 that I didn't have yarn for yet, everything that I have on my wish list that I don't have yarn for yet because I shouldn't be knitting it until I've done my Make 9, but there are things. And I have to say that when I was there, I was seeing all this beautiful yarn and I was like, but I don't want it for any of these, but I could make something else with it. I was very good though and I did stick. So
we have been thinking about the Arctic Light by Kutovakika and the Book Club Pullover by Sari Nordlin.
That's right. I forgot we hadn't talked about the Arctic Light. So Kutovakika recently put out a survey questionnaire thing, asking her followers and her viewers just like different questions to try and improve her content. And we both did that.
Yeah.
And we got a 25%
it was 20
voucher.
25.
Yeah.
25%
voucher off of her patterns. And so we were thinking we'd do another buddy knit of another Kutovakika
Not
pattern.
on our Make 9.
So we decided on the Arctic Light sweater.
Yeah.
And I originally really wanted to do it in a mustard, but I couldn't really find anything in mustard there that I loved. But I found this. This is undyed. It's completely natural. It is, I think the company is Leahcim wool. It's farm to yarn to you, and it's 100% pole merino wool. If you could feel how soft, I felt this and I was like, I have to have it. And so then I went, you know what? I'm going to.
And the natural undyed was significantly cheaper than their dyed hanks.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of doing it.
Well, I really wanted, they had a beautiful mustard and I would have loved to have bought that for the Arctic Light sweater, but it would have been ridiculous, like $40 or something for one.
Yeah.
And it would have been just way too expensive for a jumper for me. So I got the undyed.
Also locally grown in South Australia.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the company, they grow the sheep. He said that he could pull a hair out of this and tell me who the sheep's mother, father, brother, uncle, sister, what their names were. So they're their sheep.
Yeah.
They raise them. They love them. They shear them.
Yeah. And lots of the yarn
do it all.
companies that were there today were that kind of idea. So that was really cool.
So I'm so excited for this. I'm going to chuck it somewhere in my Make 9. I don't know where.
Yep.
Then the next thing I have had my eye on making the Kintra sweater by Kriya.
Yeah, did you put it on your Make 9? Okay, so
not on my Make 9.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We're okay with that.
Well, she hadn't released it at that point.
Yep.
So I think there were the twins
They tested it. Yep.
that did the test knit, and I loved it. And so basically it uses like Advent. Yes, it uses like Advent small amounts, and you can use anywhere from 10 to 24 colours for the accent part, and then just one colour for the body. And so I was keeping my eye out for some mini skeins while I was there, and at the Yarn Trader stall, and Yarn Trader is one of our favourite local little yarn store shops to visit.
One of 2 or 3.
And there aren't that many in Adelaide. And I got this, and look at these beautiful colours. And for me, like, these would probably be my normal go-to colours.
And these would be my normal go-to with probably the mustard thrown in.
So I'm loving that there's going to be something a little bit different in there.
And we did the black and white contrast test, where you change your camera to black and white and you look at them to make sure there's enough contrast in the colours. And that was kind of the best pack that we found today that had variety of colour, but also variety of contrast as well.
So there's 10 10-gram mini skeins in here.
Do you think you'll do it with a cream, or do you think you'll go like a grey or black?
I kind of want a cream.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I haven't decided that yet. I don't even know if I need more than this for the thing. I wrote down that I only needed 100 grams, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
If not, I'll find another 10 pack or whatever of mini skeins. There's plenty out there.
Yeah.
I'm just collecting right now. I feel like that's the beautiful thing about the Kintro. It's almost like a collection. Yeah. So it's fingering weight, 4-ply.
I was going to say you could use leftovers, but not many projects have fingering or 4-ply to use as leftovers.
Yeah. So that was another purchase. When I bought that, I also got myself some of the row counting trackers because, you know, fun. Why not?
I wanted to make some, but I'd never do. So you just buy it.
And, you know, I did say that. I was like, oh, I could probably make them. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to be doing that today.
No.
I'm just going to buy them. They were a good price.
Spend the time you could spend making them to knit something instead.
Yes.
Yep. And your last...
you've got
a couple more, sorry.
Couple more. Okay, so my next purchase I actually can't talk about. I'm going to show you the yarn that I bought. It is very much not my usual colour palette, but when I can discuss this, it will all make sense. So I got some of these for my top secret project. It is the same Aussie DK yarn, superwash merino. This one is called the Barefoot Contessa, which I quite like.
Yeah, I didn't look at the colour names when we bought them.
No, and again, it's a DK, but it really is, I think, a little bit more on the worsted kind of side. It's a bit fuller, especially when I
can't go past the mustard.
Can't go past the mustard, and thought, you know what? Also have to make myself a Sophie scarf because the world is doing it right now. Want to give it a go. So yeah, just got that one for myself. The last purchase that I made, it was the first yarn that I saw when I walked into Fibre Feast. Fell in love, did the good thing and went, let me just explore first, see what else is out there, and I couldn't go past it. The project that I bought this for was not on my list or on my Make 9. I'd actually messaged Kendall, hey, do you prefer this cardigan, which is the Seasons cardigan, or this cardigan, which is the Rose cardigan? And it's a pattern that's just been released by, I think it's really annoying, I can't remember it, but I'll put it in for you. She was a crochet designer that I followed ages ago, and she started releasing knitting designs. And so I saw it and I just really loved it. And, you know, when I sent it to Kendall, I said, the Seasons cardigan uses DK weight, which is harder to find, worsted weight, which is harder to find. It uses like 1,600 meters, whereas this Rose cardigan, or Rose actually, because it's got the little dum flicky. Yeah. The Rose cardigan uses like, I think it was just under or just over 1,000 meters, and it's DK, which is really easy to find. And Kendall was like, the Rose looks so beautiful, easier to find, cheap, like it'll be cheaper to make.
A similar look. Like, it does give a similar look to the Seasons, using a lot less yarn.
Meanwhile, I sent the 2 images only with no context to my husband, and I said, which do you prefer? And he said Seasons. So I was like, okay, well, that was the one I originally wanted. He likes the look of it. I'll keep that. Could not find yarn for the Seasons cardigan today. I looked. I really did look. And it's not that there wasn't beautiful yarn. It was just what I had in mind in worsted that would be affordable, because it needed 1,600 meters. It would have just been so expensive. So I decided to buy this gorgeous alpaca yarn. It's 100% Australian alpaca. It is a DK 8-ply, and you can really tell, like, compared to these ones, that it is an 8-ply.
Yeah.
It is so soft. Here, you can have a squish. It is so soft. It is so beautiful. I came back to it, and the colours, just those beautiful. They had such gorgeous, natural, neutral,
and again, like
tones.
ethically sourced straight from their like alpaca farm that's near them.
They're I think it was it their alpacas?
Yeah.
So yes, in Macclesfield. There you go.
Yeah.
Could not go past, and so I got myself
so many like beautiful natural colours too. Like there was some chocolate browns that were delightful.
Yeah.
There was some like natural creams.
And they had a really awesome like tweed style
so
one.
they used like a recycled one that had some of the silk, was it? Silk going back through it, which added like coloured flecks.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, but I decided to go with this gorgeous grey, and so
good.
I'm going to make the rosé cardigan in this gorgeous grey alpaca.
Yeah, and I won't put that near my face because it will make me sneeze.
We're in the... No, you were coughing.
I was coughing.
Maybe you wanted to sneeze.
Look,
too.
It's okay when it's just like one like this.
And
but
she's
surrounded
sitting
by
there
all
going,
of it.
she's sitting there going, should I buy some and make a sweater out of it? And I was like, no, because you won't be able to wear the thing. You poor thing.
Maybe it'd be okay.
But alpaca, love it. I just love it.
All right. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Awesome.
Yay.
Can't wait for the next Fibre Feast.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a whole another year.
Yep.
Save up our more monies.
And I'm really looking forward to, I'll hopefully be finishing the Devon sweater soon.
Yes.
And I'll be...
Whenever our next one is.
Casting on this one.
Yes. Whenever our next one is, I'm hoping that both the Devon and the Haskins are both finished. And we'll have lots of cast-ons to share.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Hopefully some finished objects too.
Just a few little like small ones.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
And we'll see you in chapter 3, whenever that might be.
We'll keep watching the social medias. We'll update you.
Could be a month, could be 2. We'll see.
Could be a couple of weeks. Doubt it, but you never know. Bye guys.